What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never. Today I'm going to be covering Quant as it recently has had a nice pump up. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. None of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. No.
So I just want to start off by congratulating any of you guys that have taken these quant trades. We've nailed it back to back. We initially had it drawn in a descending triangle, which broke up above the measured move. And had you guys taken that trade, you could have made about 30% in around 2 weeks. But then we talked about how quant had bearish divergence, and there was a pretty good chance that it would retrace into a bull flag. But then bull flags break up 68% of the time. So had you guys taken this trade, you could have made about 11% in a week. But if you guys enjoy making gains in the crypto market, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Help me pump that algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. I've made many profitable calls during this bear market, and I will continue doing so in the future, so stay tuned. But anyways, I'll go deeper into the charts at the end of the video. Quant is currently trading at a price point of $102. Its market cap is $1.24 billion, which ranks 47th among all cryptocurrencies. And its circulating supply is 12 million out of a max supply of 14.8 million. Which is about 81% in circulation. And this is one of the biggest reasons I am bullish on Quant, is because it is extremely scarce. And just to put that in perspective, Bitcoin has a max supply of 21 million, and people think Bitcoin is extremely scarce. Quant has even less tokens than Bitcoin. And if you guys are looking to trade Quant, I recommend using Binance, Coinbase, or KuCoin. I think those are the 3 easiest centralized exchanges to use. And I also would like to point out, if you come down into the Quant news section, there are 2 different articles. Top crypto that can surprise you with growth this week, and then 5 top-rated cryptos to buy before they skyrocket. And given that this is a Quant news section, Quant is listed in both of them. And it's interesting because usually I disagree with these news sections, but in this case, I don't. Later on into the video, I will go deeper into why I think Quant can explode, but the reality is that a lot of other altcoins have exploded recently, and Quant only went from $86 up to $112, whereas projects like Caspar are up over 90%. But anyways, if we come over to Quant's Twitter, they just posted 1 hour ago. By respecting individual needs, maximizing our office space for collaboration, and implementing a customized approach, we foster a culture of trust, respect, and autonomy. And that was said by the chief HR officer. And that was in response to this adaptable working article. And then what they posted November 13th. During a panel session at Alfie Fund's London conference last month, our chief product officer discussed asset digitalization for our investment management industry with a panel that included HSBC's global head of digital asset strategy. And let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about asset digitalization coupled with real world asset tokenization? Do you think those niches are important for the future of crypto? And then this is their last post since my last Quant video. During UK Finance's Digital Innovation Summit last week, our founder Gilbert Verdian discussed the digital pound with a panel that included senior representatives from Citi and the Bank of International Settlements and the Bank of England. And I do want to point out, this is one of the biggest reasons so many people are bullish on Quant. Look at how deeply integrated they are with big time players. I mean, these are massive banks. And obviously, to that point, a lot of people don't like Quant because it's super centralized and it is connected to banks. And while that is true, it does defeat the purpose of decentralization. I think purely from an investment standpoint, it has a lot better chance to actually succeed than a lot of decentralized projects. And at the end of the day, I would argue about 99% of us are in the market to make money. But now we'll go over some macro news that could affect Quant's price action, even though it's not directly correlated to Quant. So the first thing I want to talk about is what Watcher Guru posted 1 hour ago. US inflation falls to 3.2%, lower than expectations. Now, before I talk about this, I also want to talk about this tweet 19 hours ago. Argentina's inflation rises to 143%. Now, there are many different ways to look at this, and everyone is going to perceive this entirely different. But here's the reality for the US dollar. It is the world reserve currency, which as long as that is the case, the inflation will not be as bad, because pretty much every country in the world is forced to soak up our inflation like a sponge. But if there ever comes a time where the US dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, then the inflation will be astronomically bad. And one of the biggest reasons is fractional reserve banking. And most people out there don't even know what that is, which is terrifying. So my point to all of this is that is why I'm so bullish on Quant and any of these other cryptocurrencies that have a capped supply. Again, there will never be more than 14.8 million Quant in existence. Even the US dollar, which has an inflation rate of only 3.2%, whether or not you actually believe that number, it still is being created out of thin air by the trillions. And most of the currency in existence is just numbers on a screen. But this is a crypto channel, so I don't want to bore you guys talking about the US dollar. My point simply is that any cryptocurrency with a max supply is going to be fundamentally good from a store of value standpoint. Now, the final news I want to cover is what they posted November 9th, and I'll start on the bottom. So BlackRock is confident the SEC will approve its spot Bitcoin ETF by January. Now, whether or not this actually happens, who knows? But if you've watched my channel in the past at all, you know I am extremely bullish on the spot Bitcoin ETFs, as I believe it will help trillions of dollars come into the industry. But what I would argue is almost being more important is BlackRock also filed for a spot Ethereum ETF with NASDAQ. Now, the reason I think this is just as important is because by definition, Ethereum is an altcoin, even though it's almost half the size of Bitcoin. But if an Ethereum ETF were to get approved, what is to stop them from approving a Cardano, Solana, XRP, any of these other massive cryptos ETFs? And then even potentially a Quant ETF someday. I think if an Ethereum spot ETF got approved, it would start a chain reaction. Now, the next thing I want to go over is the crypto fear and greed index, as right now we are at that 69 level, which is greedy. So why measure fear and greed? The crypto market behavior is very emotional. People tend to get greedy when the market is rising, which results in FOMO. Also, people often sell their coins in irrational reaction of seeing red numbers. With our fear and greed index, we try and save you from your own emotional overreactions. There are two simple assumptions. Extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That could be a good buying opportunity. On the contrary, when investors are getting too greedy, that could mean the market is due for a correction. Now, obviously, this is not the end-all indicator. I want to be clear about that. But from my experience, it's usually pretty accurate. It was only just a month ago that I was showing you guys this indicator, and we were down at that 42 level, which was fearful, and Bitcoin was trading at 26,100, and everyone was talking about how Bitcoin was going back beneath 20,000, and it was just constant bearish news. And I was telling you guys, realistically, that is when you should be buying crypto. But now that we are up in that greedy region, honestly, you might want to consider taking profits. Obviously, that's not financial advice. Do what's best for you. But I want you guys to understand the overall crypto sentiment right now. Now, for the final part of the video, we'll go over some technical analysis. So this is Quant on the daily time frame. And as I said, props to any of you guys that took these trades. Combined, you could have made over 45% gains. But anyways, what am I saying right now? The RSI was extremely overbought, but has now started to reset. And same with the stochastics. However, if you look at price action, we swing from a lower high to a higher high. The RSI is higher high to lower high. That is class A bearish divergence. And even if you don't want to count the wicks, you could still argue for a double top, which would be class C bearish divergence. Either way, those typically signal a local top has been reached. Now, you could argue that that's already started to play out. And I will say, price action is currently trading directly on the high volume node in the VRVP, and it's using it as support, which is a good sign to see. In addition, if you look at the moving averages, the 21-day has broken above the 200-day moving average. That is a golden cross, which typically signals an explosive move is coming. And then last but not least, you could also argue that Quant is forming another falling wedge, which break up 68% of the time, and it has a measured move to around $115. But I do also want to be clear, if we do break up, we are going to have to get above this previous resistance level at $112. We have been rejected off of there 5 times since June, but sooner or later, I would like to believe that Quant is a good enough project to break above those levels. Now, lastly, we'll go over Bitcoin as it's correlated to most altcoins. So right now, the RSI is extremely overbought, and the stochastics were overbought but are starting to reset. However, on the 3-day, we are also extremely overbought. We are even very overbought on the weekly time frame. In addition, price action is currently trading above all of the moving averages and the high volume nodes on the VRVP, and typically these indicators work as magnets, coupled with the fact that Bitcoin has also went parabolic, as it went from 26,000 to 38,000 in like 2 weeks. So based on all of those indicators, personally, I will not be entering a long trade for Bitcoin. In my experience, rarely does it work out if you chase a parabolic move. But I will say, if you guys are risk takers, you could argue that Bitcoin was trading in a bull flag, which had started to break up, but it has a huge measure move to over $42,000. And based on the way the crypto market is trending right now, I wouldn't be totally shocked if it did break out. But I do want to be clear, again, in the short term, personally, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to retrace a little bit. I cannot stress enough how bad of an idea it usually is to chase a parabolic move. But as I say in every single one of my videos, macroeconomics significantly outweigh technical analysis. So if all of a sudden these Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved, that could skyrocket the entire market. On the contrary, if some very bearish news comes out, that could tank the entire market. So just keep an open mind. Understand crypto is going to be extremely volatile in the short term. Anything can happen. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments, where do you think the crypto market is headed within the next few weeks? If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.